In 1947, a young Bedouin shepherd was searching for a lost goat near the cliffs overlooking the Dead Sea. Curious, he threw a stone into a small cave. Instead of hearing it strike the ground, he heard something unexpected, the sound of breaking pottery. That simple moment led to one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in human history. Inside, those caves were ancient scrolls that had remained hidden for nearly 2,000 years. They became known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. But from the very beginning, the discovery was surrounded by mystery. Who wrote them? Why were they hidden? And perhaps the biggest question of all, did the public really get to see every scroll that was found? Today, we are going to separate fact from speculation and explore why these ancient manuscripts continue to fascinate historians, archaeologists, and millions of people around the world. The story begins in one of the most isolated places on earth. The Dead Sea lies between Israel and Jordan, surrounded by dry mountains, caves, and one of the harshest deserts on the planet. For centuries, almost nobody paid attention to these caves, but everything changed after that accidental discovery. When archaeologists arrived, they realized this was not just a single cave. Over the following years, 11 caves containing ancient manuscripts were discovered. Thousands of fragments were recovered. Some were almost perfectly preserved. Others had been reduced to tiny pieces that researchers would spend decades trying to reconstruct. The scrolls were written mainly in Hebrew, with some texts in Aramaic and Greek diacarbon. Dating and paleographic analysis suggested that most of them were copied between the 3rd century BC and the 1st century AD. That means many of these manuscripts are older than the oldest biblical manuscripts previously known. For historians, this was extraordinary. For the first time, scholars could compare modern biblical texts with copies written more than 2,000 years ago. Many expected to find enormous differences. Instead, something surprising happened. Large portions of the biblical texts were remarkably consistent. Although there were spelling differences and minor variations, the overall message had been preserved with incredible accuracy. This discovery strengthened confidence in the long process through which these ancient writings had been copied across generations. But not every scroll contained books from the Bible. Many described community rules, prayers, hymns, interpretations of prophecy, and writings that reflected the beliefs of a mysterious Jewish group living in the desert. Most scholars believe they were the Essenes. The Essenes were known for living disciplined lives away from large cities. They valued purity, prayer, study, and strict obedience to their religious traditions. Some historians believe they chose to hide the scrolls as Roman armies advanced across Judea during the 1st century. Instead of allowing the manuscripts to be destroyed, they placed them inside clay jars and sealed them inside caves, hoping they would survive. Incredibly, they did. For nearly 2,000 years, nobody touched them. The dry climate of the Judean desert helped preserve documents that otherwise would have disappeared forever. Yet, this is where the mystery truly begins. Almost immediately after the discovery, access to many of the scrolls became highly restricted. Only a very small group of scholars was allowed to study them. Years passed. Then, decades, many researchers complained they could not examine the manuscripts themselves. Some began asking uncomfortable questions. Why was access so limited? Was it simply because translating thousands of fragile fragments required enormous time? Or was there another reason? The restricted access gave birth to countless theories. Some people claimed that certain scrolls contained information capable of changing the history of Christianity. Others believed secret documents had been hidden away forever. Over the years, these ideas spread through books, documentaries, and eventually across the internet. But what does the evidence actually tell us? Today, there is no verified proof that an entire collection of secret scrolls has been deliberately concealed from the public. Most specialists agree that the long delay was caused by practical reasons. Thousands of damaged fragments had to be cleaned, photographed, translated, compared, and reconstructed like an enormous puzzle. Even so, the secrecy surrounding the project created suspicion that has never completely disappeared. As technology improved, researchers began using infrared photography, multispectral imaging, and artificial intelligence to recover faded writing that the human eye could barely detect. Pieces once believed to be unreadable suddenly revealed new words and forgotten passages. Even today, scientists continue studying fragments that still raise new questions. One of the most fascinating discoveries is not necessarily what the scrolls say, but what they reveal about the people who protected them. These were individuals willing to preserve knowledge even as war approached. They understood that books could outlive kingdoms, empires rise and fall, cities disappear, but written words can survive for thousands of years. That may be the greatest lesson left behind by the Dead Sea Scrolls. Not that they contain secret prophecies or hidden messages, but that preserving knowledge has always been one of humanity's greatest responsibilities. The discovery also reminds us how much history may still be buried beneath deserts, mountains, and forgotten ruins around the world. If one shepherd accidentally uncovered one of history's greatest archaeological treasures, who can say what remains hidden today? Perhaps there are still caves waiting to be explored. Perhaps libraries lost to time are still buried beneath the earth, and perhaps the next great discovery is only one unexpected step away. The Dead Sea Scrolls continue to inspire archaeologists because they represent something rare, a direct connection between our modern world and voices that lived more than 2,000 years ago. Whether you see them as religious treasures, historical documents, or archaeological masterpieces, their importance is undeniable. They change the way scholars study ancient texts. They expanded our understanding of the ancient world. And they continue to remind us that history is never truly finished. Every new discovery has the power to rewrite what we thought we already knew. If you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, subscribe to Divine Code. Here we explore forgotten civilizations, biblical mysteries, archaeological discoveries, and the hidden stories that continue to shape our understanding of the past. Because sometimes the greatest mysteries are not the ones we imagine. They are the ones history has quietly preserved, waiting for someone to uncover them.